In this tutorial in Cyberlink PowerDirector, we're going to take a look at working with the Slideshow Creator. This is a tool that I haven't used for a while, and when I looked at it, I saw some things that either I'd forgotten or never uncovered the first time around. So you might find a few new tips as you look at this tutorial with me. So let's see how we can work with this automated tool called Slideshow Creator in PowerDirector. We're going to be looking at it kind of from a basic 101 level here. So I'm going to click on the Tools menu in the upper left corner, and then from the drop-down, pick the one that says Slideshow Creator. That gets me to my tool. You see we have 4 basic options involved with this. I'm going to make this full screen so we can see better. And the first step, step number 1, is Source. So you click on the upper left, Import your photos. And you have 3 options. You can do a simple image file, you can do folders with a graphic image, or you can import from the media library. I'll take a folder, I'll click on that, and I'm going to click on the folder that I have in my file system and select it. Now the nice thing about this is the folder contains much more than graphic images or pictures. It contains other data, but it will only pull in the pictures. Now you notice I have several ways in which I can look at this. I have a slider to control the size of the thumbnails, all the way from very small to very large. This allows me to say, do I want everything here in my production? And you can change that later. But for example, this picture doesn't work. It has puzzles superimposed on the surface of the picture. I don't want that, so I'll highlight it. You can either click on the garbage can in the lower right corner or press the delete key on the keyboard. I have another one that's duplicated here, so let's take this one and press the delete key, and we'll stop with that for now. Let's assume that we want all of these in our slideshow, at least tentatively. So I click on the next button at the bottom. It takes me to the Style and Music section. Here we find that we have 36 different styles. Now there are 2 classes of styles. There's what I call the normal ones. There are the 13 of them with the simple names. And then there are 23 that are theme designer styles. Those are more complicated. We won't deal with those in this particular tutorial. So let's assume we want one of the 13 simple ones. I'm going to click on the style called Camera. And you know this will tell me what style I'm using. And then at the bottom, if I want, I can choose some background music. Now you could also put that in later, but let's see how this background music import tool works. I click on the music sign with the plus music symbol, and it opens up this screen. Now because I'm a 365 subscriber, I have 2 options for importing. I can select this one. It will import it from my file system, just like I did a moment ago. Or I can click here and it will download from Meta. Let's see what that looks like. When I click here, I have several genres I can use from Meta, and I have a search function. If I click, say, on blues, it will give me a list. Unfortunately, I cannot sort this by duration or tempo. I wish I could, but I can't in this tool. So I can scroll up and down, and there are many more than you think there are, because the farther down you scroll, the more the slider moves. Let's search for one. I'm going to pick one called Road Trip, and here's ones that fit the blues category. I want all genres, and let's take this Road Trip instrumental. Now if I want to play it without bringing it in, I simply click the play button here, and you can hear it, and I can stop it wherever I want. If I want to pull it in, I click the OK button at the Meta screen. I'll do that. Now it will pull it in. Now, if I want more than one piece of music in my slideshow, I simply repeat the process. Let's do that again. I'll type another, and it will give me some options here, and I'll just bring it in. Click on OK. Now you notice I have 2. If I want to reorder the sequence of the music, I just highlight the one I want, and I either click up or down, and now I can move them to the place I want them in my presentation. The other thing I can do for each individual piece, let's take the road trip, is I can control the duration of the piece. Maybe I don't want to use the whole thing, and all I need to do is I can drag on the in mark and out mark and set it wherever I want. It will give me the duration when I'm done. So right now it's set to 24 seconds. Now 32. Let's take this one and delete it to make this simple. I still have my 32-second clip here. I can play it where it starts, play it where it stops. The default is for it to fade in and fade out. You can turn those on or off if you wish. So let's take that and just say that's what we want. This 32-second piece of this particular background music. I'll click on OK. So the other option we have that's very important is this one, Slideshow Preferences. What is that all about? The most important one for me is duration. Right now the default is fit the music to the photos. What this means is the photos that I have will come in during a pre-arranged assembly pattern as the code of that template dictates. We can't change the speed, we can't change the style. It comes in as the template demands. In this case, the music to fit to the photos means every photo I've selected will be used. And the music will either be repeated or it will be reduced in duration if it's a long piece of music to fit however long it takes to operate with those photos. The other option is this one, fit photos to music. This means the music is king and it will only use those photos, again, bringing them in through its pre-designed method that happens to fit the duration of the music. And when the music runs out, sorry folks, we're out of photos. That's the only ones we're going to use. So let's do that one first and I'll show you the implications of that choice. I'll click on OK and then we'll click on Next. And I can't see anything on the screen, so what I'm going to do is click on Customize. Here I notice that in this particular kind of theme, the camera theme, I have these 4 different styles that it's going to be using. These are all the photos it didn't use because the music wasn't long enough. So I would have to switch the options if I wanted to do that, lengthen the music, whatever. But in the 35 seconds, it can actually fit in this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different images. Now, if that's sufficient for me, but I don't like the images it picked, I can change them very easily. Let's click back to this one. Here I have a winter scene I don't want to fit into. Let's pick a summer one. Now, one way to do it is to click on this one and then click on the arrow to throw it into the unused bucket, and then click on the one I want and click on the arrow and put it back. But there's a faster way I've discovered. All you need to do is take and drag and drop, and there it is. Or if I want to put these in for flowers, I'll take these in on this one, drag and drop, and I've done it. So that's how easy it is to change. Now you notice you have something that says maximum number of photos on a slide. This particular theme gives me a max of 4. It will vary from theme to theme. Let's say I want the maximum number not to be 4, but to be 3, because I can't go above 4 in this theme. I'll lower it to 3 and nothing changes until I click on Remix. If I click on Remix, it will take what I've done and it will remix the slides. You notice I have no more than 3 now. And I can go back to 4 if I want and remix again. There's another thing you can do with these images that you might find useful. Let's click back on this one here, the sailboat. I don't want to use the entire image. I want to crop it. That's what this tool over here is for. I can crop it by clicking Set the Focus Area. It's basically a cropping tool. And if you look up here, we have a focus area. So I can say, okay, I want it cropped something like, maybe like this. And now I've changed the image by cropping it right inside the tool. So let's assume that we're done with this and we like what we've done. We've made some changes. We've moved some slides in and out of our presentation. We click on OK. Then we click on Next. This allows you to do 3 things. You can output to a video file or burn it to a disk, or you can do advanced editing. Basically, it puts it on your timeline. So I'll click here, and I want to put it on the timeline. Now, in this case, I have unused photos. It wants to know if I want those in the timeline too. I'll say no. So it will drop this to my timeline, so I can play it. And And we have our music. We have our 32 seconds because I said make music king. And it will go ahead and play that. But the other thing I can do, once I've used this on the timeline, you notice I have a slideshow clip option on the timeline. When I click on that, let's see what happens. It takes me back to my tool. So I can rework the whole thing if I want to. Let's do normal. Go next. It keeps my pictures that I chose before, keeps the background music I chose before, and it gives me different kinds of customization on this particular style. So it's going to change from style to style. I click on next again, and I can export it as I did before. Let's click on cancel. So you have some of those options. So styles will vary in terms of the amounts of variables that you can change. Let me show you one more variation before we go quickly. I'm going to click back on here to get into the slideshow clip tool. Let's go back to the same option that was camera, and I'll stop the video while I bring the music back in. Okay, I've brought music back in. What I'd like to do is change the preferences here. So this will be not fit the photos to the music, but fit the music to the photos. We'll click OK and next. And now when I look at my customize button here, you notice I have 0 unused photos. And it's a longer presentation because now the photos have driven the project rather than the music. I'll click on OK here. And then we can go to next again, and we can go to advanced editing. And this says your creative slideshow replaces the clips in the timeline. I want to do that. And now it will pull it in, and now I have a different slideshow. Notice it's much longer. It's not 32 seconds because the number of graphic images I had determines the length of this particular show. That's a bit of an introduction to working with the simple version of the Slideshow Creator in CyberLink PowerDirector.